Time to meet the men from the ministry. We present Richard Murdoch and Deryck Guyler in The Men from the Ministry, a weekly tribute to the men of our government service. Men who have often been accused of not knowing what good, hard work really is. To which they usually reply, what good is it? In the General Assistance Department, that eager executive, Richard Lamb, is always frank and fearless, always ready to lay all his cards on the table.
49, 50, 51, 52. There we are, Mildred. That's all the cards on the table.
Oh, you're not playing patience again. Last time you accused yourself of cheating and punched yourself on the nose.
Nonsense, Mildred. Anyway, I wouldn't play patience in ministry time. Oh, no. This is a conjuring trick.
Oh, yeah?
By my magic powers, I'm going to pick out the Queen of Hearts. Are you ready? There. Isn't that clever?
Well, that's the Queen of Hearts, all right. But shouldn't the cards be face down on the table?
Now, that'll make it much too difficult. I hate tricks that go wrong.
Yeah, that one you did at the staff Christmas party, that one worked. Where you appeared to drink the water in the goldfish bowl. That was smashing.
Yes, but I was so ill afterwards.
Now, what's this to? Playing cards? Must I do all the work in this office?
Oh, come off it, one. I wrote a letter only last week. I do more than my share.
Yes, well, that may be your impression too, but it isn't mine. I toil in this place from 12 in the morning till 4 at night. No wonder the permanent undersecretary feels I should have a medical checkup.
But we're all having checkups, man.
Mr. Lamb and I have ours in the morning, sir.
Really? Oh, yes, well, I'm off to mine now. Oh, yes, of course. Senior staff this afternoon, the rest tomorrow.
Anyway, one, you look very fit.
Ah, yes, well, one tries to put up a show, too, you know. Yes, but I don't mind telling you, the stairs in the office seem a lot steeper these days. I can't run up the last flight like I used to.
You can still run down them when it's time to go home.
I'll just go straight home after the medical and take an aspirin, I think. I feel a cold coming on, and I've got a heavy day tomorrow.
The business efficiency exhibition?
No, we don't need to see that. No, I've a business lunch with Vicky Valentine. He's asked us to tie up the travel arrangements for this peace conference at Brighton.
Oh, you mean make sure all the foreign delegates get there?
Yes, tricky business. May need personal liaison. Wouldn't mind a few days in Brighton.
But when you've only just come back from your summer leave.
Summer leave? Summer leave, they call it. The short time they give me, I can't even start to unwind. I tell you, Till, for a man with my responsibilities, 8 weeks goes nowhere.
Oh, dear.
I shouldn't be surprised if this doctor prescribes me a period of prolonged rest, you know.
Funny place, Brighton. Old Rudge at the Board of Trade spent his honeymoon there.
Yeah, so I heard. I gather he went down the corridor one night to have a bath, and when he came back, he couldn't remember which room he was in.
That's right. Hasn't seen his wife since.
Well, I'm going down for my medical. I hope this doctor's on the ball. I haven't felt too good lately. But I carry on, you know. Oh, yes. Yes, I carry on.
Yeah, he carries on something chronic.
I'm afraid he's a hypochondriac, Mildred.
Well, I wouldn't mind that, but he always thinks he's ill.
Of course, it's just an excuse to pass all the work on to us.
He's always making a fuss about something. Yesterday he was grumbling about his liver.
Was he?
Yeah, said the canteen put too much gravy on it.
I'm afraid, Mr. Lennox Brown, I can't finish the examination unless you strip completely as everyone else does.
I'm sorry, Doctor, but I must refuse.
Well, having taken everything else off, I can't see why you object to removing that final item.
Please understand, madam, that I am not removing this bowler hat for anyone. There's a very nasty draught from the fanlight. Once I feel the slightest suspicion of a cold in my head, I do my utmost to stamp on it.
I must say, you haven't made my job any easier. When I tapped your knee, it was quite unnecessary for you to slap my hand.
A reflex action, madam. Now, may I put my clothes on again, please?
Before you do, I'd like to take another look at this. Now, stand there. Now, let me see. Yes, very unusual.
Surely not.
I'm afraid it is. You see, normally, people have only one
Well?
You have too.
Yes, but they don't give me any trouble.
You don't find them awkward at any time?
Certainly not.
Well, I suppose civil servants have to have everything in duplicate.
Madam, please.
It really is most interesting.
Well, you don't have to stare like that. What a fuss about nothing. I've got a callus on each elbow. So what?
You must sit for long periods with both elbows on your desk.
Oh, yes, for hours at a stretch. That is, thinking, you see, for hours at a stretch. Oh, my goodness, yes, yes. Sometimes I think the strain is too much for me, you know. The pressures, the stresses, oh, yes. Yes, they're bound to leave their mark, even if it's only on the elbows.
Well, you'd better get dressed now, Mr. Lennox Brown. I'm going to make a few notes about you.
Notes, eh? Oh, yes, I dare say you're going to recommend sick leave, huh? On full pay, of course. 6 months should do the trick, you know. A long sea voyage. Yes, the Bahamas, perhaps.
Quite the reverse.
Oh, you mean I should stay at home? Yes, well, you may be right. Gentle round of golf in the afternoon, a spot of bridge in the evening, a nourishing meal, a little wine, a little brandy.
Mr. Lennox Brown, you are A1.
Oh, do you think so? Yes, well, I like to let my hair down at the staff dance.
You are perfectly fit.
What? Fit? Perfectly fit?
And you'd be even fitter if you worked harder for longer hours.
Oh, dear. I'd better sit down. Quite fit, eh? Oh, well, there's nothing more to be said, then.
Absolutely nothing. You have a clean bill of health.
It's a bit of a shock. After all this time, one might have thought I'd be cracking up. I gave the best years of my life to the ministry, and now this. Perfectly fit, eh? There you are, I see. I knew it, yes, a cold. I have got a cold coming on.
With your rude health, you'll soon shake it off.
Oh, well, it's the central heating in this place, you know. It never works properly. One day too hot, next day too cold. It was out of date when Mr. Gladstone installed it.
Mr. Gladstone?
Obadiah Gladstone, the builder. Never had much faith in that firm.
Faulty central heating, eh? For once, I think there may be something in what you say. I've heard it make some odd noises.
Oh, I've been complaining about that central heating for years.
It could be very bad for the health of the staff.
Yes, I'm surprised they don't all get pneumonia.
I'll have Mr. Lamprey, the ministry's central heating expert, come over and take a look at it in view of your complaint.
I put the Brighton Peace Conference file on Mr. Lennox Brown's desk, Mr. Lamb.
Thanks, Mildred, but he's sure to pass on the job to me.
You know, he takes advantage of you, Mr. Lamb. You ought to spend some time giving him a piece of your mind. But I suppose you've got none to spare.
Yeah. Wait, what?
None to spare?
No time to spare.
Oh.
After all, we're the ones who do all the work. And sometimes he looks at you as if you were a complete fool.
That's right, Mildred. And I try to look back as if I wasn't.
Just looked in to tell you I'm off.
Right, old man. Oh, how did the medical go?
Too. These things are supposed to be confidential.
I'm sorry.
Yes, let's just try and keep it that way, shall we?
Very well, man, if that's how you feel.
Yes, it is, yes. What's the time, by the way?
4:45.
Ah, infernal nuisance. I meant to go early today. Oh, by the way, I may be a shade late in the morning, too. I'm popping in to see my solicitor.
But that means that the office will be empty, one. Mildred and I'll be having our medicals with the doctor.
Never mind, you can put a notice on the door. Mr. Lamb and Miss Murphy are away being doctored. Oh.
And Mr. Lennox Brown is out soliciting. Right, old man.
Good night, sir.
Good night.
Yeah, I wonder how he did get on with the doctor. He seemed ever so moody. Do you think he's all right?
Of course he's all right, Mildred.
I hope we don't have injections tomorrow. Do you remember the flu epidemic? They jabbed Mr. Smelly Brown of admin and he turned yellow. And when they jabbed Mr. Peddle of planning, he turned yellow. Did you turn yellow, Mr. Lamb?
No, green. I was yellow to start with.
Medicals can be so embarrassing. I mean, standing there without any... I mean, I can't imagine Sir Gregory having a medical. Oh. Yeah, yes, I can.
At my last medical, I had one of those awful sarcastic doctors. After he'd examined me, I said, "Tell me, doctor, how do I stand?" And he said, "It beats me."
Well, I'm going to settle settle down with me magazine and forget all about medicals till tomorrow morning.
Would you like the 10 o'clock appointment instead of me, Mildred?
No, thanks, Mr. Lamb. I don't mind waiting.
Pity. I hate being first in the surgery. I like to give the doctor's hands time to warm up.
Well, we'll neither of us be there by 10 o'clock if we don't hurry.
It's all right. The room's just round this next corner, where they usually keep all the pink forms waiting to be filled in.
I say, Mr. Lamb, from one lot of bare pink forms to another.
Oh, oh my word, Mildred, that is good. I must tell Mr. Lennox Brown that one.
He could do with something to cheer him up the way he looked yesterday after his medical.
Here we are, Mildred. Oh, dear, it's a woman, Doctor.
Well, go on in. The door's open.
I'm not sure if I can... I wonder...
Excuse me, is this the doctor's room?
Yes.
Do you mind if I go in ahead of you? She's called me in specially.
No, please do. I don't mind waiting. You go right ahead.
No, thank you. Excuse me, Doctor. My name's Lamprey.
Ah, Mr. Lamprey, come in. Good of you to call so promptly.
Thank you. I made a thorough examination, as you requested, and I thought I'd give you my opinion straight away.
Did you hear that, Mildred? Mr. Lamprey. She's obviously called in a specialist about somebody.
Yeah, you'd think they'd shut the door if they're going to talk about a patient, wouldn't you? I mean, people could overhear them.
Quite right, Mildred. It's disgraceful.
There's no privacy for anyone around here.
Mildred, how can I overhear when you're talking?
Now then, Mr. Lamprey, you're going to give me your opinion of Mr. Lennox Brown's complaint. What can we do about it?
Mildred, it's Mr. Lennox Brown.
Well, I don't think there's much we can do at this stage. It's too far gone.
He says he's too far gone.
Whole system's an absolute wreck. All pipes are hopelessly furred.
No point in a bit of lagging round the bottom?
None. There are joints coming loose all over the place. Circulation's getting slower all the time.
No wonder Lennox Brown complained of feeling hot and cold.
Well, at first I thought we might insert a long-handled brush. Give all principal pipes a good pull-through.
That's an idea. Then flush out and seal up the cracks.
But I realise now it wouldn't work. There's nothing you can do once you get leakage on this scale. It's a pity I wasn't called in before.
Well, the first I knew of the trouble was when Mr. Lennox Brown came in yesterday. What will you recommend?
Once things have reached this stage, there's no point in telling people. Only create alarm and despondency.
Just let the old geezer go quietly downhill till the end.
It won't be long. I'll tell them to start discreetly looking round for a replacement.
Well, I mustn't detain you, Mr. Lamprey. Thank you for letting me know.
Not at all. I'll send in today's first patient, shall I?
Yes, please. It's, let me see, Mr. Lamb.
Funny. There was a chap here a moment ago. Oh, yes, there he is. He seems to be trying to hide behind the fire bucket.
Come along, Mr. Lamb. Drink this while it's hot. We don't want to lose both our top executives.
What a morning, Mildred. First that dreadful shock over poor Mr. Lennox Brown, and then that embarrassing experience with the doctor.
What happened exactly?
Well, she asked me about our office habits, and I told her we drank a lot of tea. Then she asked me for a specimen. Well, fortunately, I had some of our morning cup still left in my hip flask. So I went behind a screen and poured it into a test tube.
And 10 minutes later, she threw you out.
I still don't know why. I just can't think straight after hearing about poor LB.
How right he was when he said he was off colour.
And we didn't even believe him. We called him a hypochondriac. Shall we ever forgive ourselves?
Oh, don't you fret, Mr. Lamb. Now relax. That's why I brought you down the canteen.
You're right, Mildred. We must do all we can to make Mr. Lennox Brown's last days as happy as possible.
We must see he never knows what a mess he's in. How his pipes are furred and his joints are loose.
We must make sure his days are full of peace and fulfillment, and that he wears a cheerful smile when he finally hangs his brolly in that great ministry in the sky.
Oh, that's beautiful, Mr. Lamb.
12 o'clock, we must get back to the office. That poor brave soul will be there soon, fighting his lonely battle with destiny.
Yes, Mr. Lamb.
Bring the rest of those biscuits with you. We'll eat them upstairs. Whatever we do, we mustn't give Mr. Lennox Brown the slightest hint that anything's unusual.
Morning, two. Morning, Mildred.
Morning, Van. What a lovely day. Let me take your briefcase. Sit in this nice comfy chair and put your feet up.
I've plugged up the cushion specially for you. Now, easy does it. There, let me hang up your coat.
Just a minute, Mildred. I'd like to take it off first.
Oh, my word, Mr. Lennox Brown. Always a merry quip, in spite of everything.
In spite of everything?
In spite of having to be in so early, yes. You ought to have a good lie-in the mornings, you know. Mildred and I can cope.
Yes.
Two, of all your peculiar moods, I dislike your sarcastic one most. It's 12:15. I told you I should be half an hour late today.
Well, what I say is you expect the head of a department to be late after all these years of work. We don't resent it.
No, we like to think of you as the late head of the department. No, that is to say,
This place is more like a madhouse than ever. What's going on here?
No, the office is just as usual. There's nothing going on.
Well, what about work?
You mustn't worry about that one.
Worry? Well, I'm not worried.
Good. That's how it should be.
Yes, but someone had better fix this conference thing.
I'll do that one. We can't foist problems on a man in your condition. In your position.
Yeah, you've done enough for one day.
But I've only just got in.
Don't overdo it, Mildred. He mustn't know.
No what?
No carbon paper. That's it, no carbon paper. We must order some from stationery.
There's a pile of it by your elbow.
By Jove, that was quick.
Well, I suppose you know what all this is about. Anyway, as you're so keen on work, you might as well handle this new job. There you are. It's all in this file.
Oh, thank you, Anne. It'll be a pleasure.
A privilege, sir.
Mildred and I clubbed together one and bought you today's copy of the Sporting Times.
Oh, thank you. Yes, I had a tip for the 2:30, as a matter of fact. Now, wait a minute, what was it? Let me see. The runners, here we are, yes. Coroner's Court, gone for good, feet first. What on earth's the matter, Mildred?
It's nothing, man. She got her eyelashes caught in the typewriter again.
Well, all right, if you'll handle both these jobs, I'll go off to lunch with Beaky Ballantyne. Yes, I'll see you later.
Oh, I hope so, Mr. Lennox Brown. I do hope so.
Well, Mildred, now that he's gone...
Oh, don't say that, Mr. Lang.
I mean, now he's gone to his club. We've got to lay on travel and accommodation for those delegates. Somewhere near that big conference hall by the sea. You throw yourself into that. I'll deal with this new job in the file. This one's from the Ministry of Labour, something about permits for a group of international cabaret artists.
Oh, yeah.
They say they've been booked for some Soho club. I'll have to check that they go to the right place.
Well, I suppose work is a comfort at a time like this. We'll have to keep our noses up and our chins to the grindstone.
Yeah, quite, yes. Poor Mr. Lennox Brown. Somehow I just can't imagine this department without him.
Those were the days, my friend. Ooh, Mr. Lamb. Here, what are you doing at Mr. Lennox Brown's desk, sitting in his chair and doodling on his pad?
Oh, me? Yes, hello, Mildred. I didn't see you come in. Yes, well, as Mr. Lennox Brown's not here, I thought I'd have a swivel in his chair.
Ooh, Mr. Lamb, how could you? Vulture, that's what you are. Can't wait to step into his shoes.
No, Mildred, honestly.
You'll be having your tea in his coronation mug next.
Just that one ought to be prepared, that's all.
Yeah, well, you've no right trying out his chair. You'd be better off keeping your own chair in order. It squeaked something horrid when I tried it out. Where is Mr. Lennox Brown, anyway?
He hasn't come in yet.
You know, I didn't see him yesterday afternoon, either.
No, they were coming round for a collection for old Tubby Crabfoot's wreath. So I thought I'd better get LB out of the way. I sent him off to that cinema down the road.
Well, that wasn't a good idea. Do you know what's on?
No, what?
Death of a Salesman.
Oh, dear. Still, perhaps he was like me and just stayed for the cartoon and the ice cream ads.
You don't think he suspects we know?
Of course not, Mildred.
He hasn't done a stroke of work for a week.
Well, that's what we wanted, wasn't it? For him to go on just as usual. And we've dealt with those 2 jobs for him. I don't think he thought we'd be able to do it.
No. He keeps asking me if we've heard from the conference people yet.
And have we?
No, not yet.
No, don't worry. I'm at the helm now, Mildred, steering a true course.
Aye, aye, Captain.
Richard Lamb speaking.
Dr. Gribble here. Lamb, did you say? The man I saw last week.
That's right.
I had a word with the psychiatrist on Monday. He'd be most interested to meet you.
Dr. Gribble, I utterly reject your suggestion that there's something wrong with my brain. There's absolutely nothing in it. Besides, we were much too busy for that sort of thing in this department.
That brings me to the point of my call. I take it you're Mr. Lennox Brown's assistant.
Yes.
Then perhaps you're aware of his, complaint.
Oh, yes, I knew about it. I didn't know you knew I knew. Do you know if he knows you know I know?
Are you sure you won't see that psychiatrist, Mr. Lamb?
Certainly not.
In my opinion, anyone who goes to a psychiatrist ought to have his head examined.
Well, to get back to Mr. Lennox Brown's complaint.
Yes.
I'm ringing to say it's all over. His worries are finished.
Thank you. I'll make a note. All over? Mildred, Mr. Lennox Brown, it's all over.
Hello? Are you there?
Yes. Can you give us any details?
Bottom burst. Early this morning, apparently. We've been expecting it, of course. Whole system finally packed up.
Poor Mr. Lennox Brown.
Oh, I shouldn't worry about him. No doubt he'll move off to somewhere warmer.
Dr. Gribble!
No time to chat, I'm afraid. I've got to advise on the right type of replacement.
Replacement? So soon?
Naturally. Can't leave the office girls with no means of getting warmed up. Anyway, the point of my call is, will you please pass on the message? Good day.
That's that then. We're to tell everyone else, apparently.
Oh, poor Mr. Lennox Brown.
I think I'll cover his geranium.
Yeah, use that copy of Racegoers Roundup. He'd have liked that.
I suppose we'd better start collecting for a wreath.
We'll collect in his old tea caddy. He won't be needing that anymore.
No, the tea'll flow like milk and honey where he's gone. There's my little contribution.
What, all those foreign coins?
It's the thought that counts, Mildred.
Well, this is from me. It's not much, but tomorrow's payday.
Oh, there, Mildred. He wouldn't want to see you like this. Nose red, mascara running.
Morning, Joe. What on earth are you doing with that tin full of coin?
Hello, one. Collecting for a wreath for you. I don't know if you'd care to give... One, what are you doing here? Why are you still alive?
I beg your pardon, too.
The doctor one on the phone just now about your complaint.
Complaint, doctor?
We heard 'em say your pipes were all furred and your joints were loose.
Just a minute, Mildred. That must be my complaint about the central heating system.
Central heating?
Yes, of course, on the point of breaking down. In fact, it has broken down by the look of old Matthews in the porter's cubbyhole. He's never much of an asset to the ministry entrance with that old balaclava helmet. Now he's stuffed it with newspaper.
Oh, then you're not going to die?
Not till I've had 30 years of my pension, I assure you.
Honestly, one, what a rotten trick. And we've done all the work in this office for a week.
Yeah, both them big jobs. The foreign delegates and the cabaret artistes. We sent the peace delegates to that club in Soho and the cabaret artists down to...
Mildred.
Yeah?
What are you saying?
Pardon?
But the delegates were for the peace conference in Brighton. And you sent them to Soho? To a nightclub? General Assistance Department, Lennox Brown.
Maxie Burns here, the Blue Banana Nightclub.
The Blue Banana Nightclub. In Soho, I suppose.
Yeah, you got it in one, Lenny boy. It's about this European lot you sent us.
Yes, I thought it might be. Now, look, the point is, Mr. Burns...
Where'd they come from, Lenny boy?
I've been away, you see.
They're the greatest act I've ever seen.
My assistant, who isn't entirely responsible for his actions, has made us some... What?
Yeah, sensational. I opened the cabaret with my regulars, the 4 sophisticates, a song, a smile and a G-string, and then your lot comes on.
Then my lot comes on.
Slow start, of course. They just sat and looked at the audience. Then one geezer gets up and starts speaking in some cod foreign chat. Talk about love. Well, this other one keeps interrupting him. Then they start fighting.
Fighting? A peace delegate?
Yeah, they're thumping each other with briefcases, aren't they? Of course, the audience goes wild. I'm booking them for the rest of the month. Then we do a tour.
I don't want to know any more.
You mean you won't even take 5%?
No, thanks. Goodbye. If you sent the peace delegates to a nightclub...
Yeah. Then the international cabaret troupe must have gone to the... Oh, Lord.
And here is the news read by John Curl. There were amazing scenes at today's opening of the Brighton Peace Conference. The first foreign delegate began the proceedings by declaring, in a somewhat sing-song manner, "I want the sun in the morning and the moon at night." He repeated this demand several times. In his reply, the Prime Minister condemned this selfish attitude to the space race. Another speaker appeared dressed in a lion skin, apparently his national costume, and swallowed 3 knives and 2 swords. The Minister of Defence commented that this symbolic act gave new hope of international disarmament. Next delegate, a young lady clad only in an ostrich feather, then danced across the stage to tumultuous applause. The Foreign Secretary said he earnestly hoped they'd see more of her. The Prime Minister added, "A fine example of women in politics. I wonder if we could get Barbara to do this." Today's session ended dramatically when the last visiting statesman, wearing a top hat and black cloak, assured the conference there would be no deception and he had nothing up his sleeve. A dozen white doves then flew out of his trousers. As the doves flew up to the ceiling, the Prime Minister said, "This is a frank and fearless contribution to world peace," and wiped his eye with a handkerchief.
Oh, switch it off, too. Of all the dunderheaded, incompetent, nitwitted... Oh, just because I was dying for a few days, you thought you could get away with murder.
Sorry, One, we must have mixed the files up,
We
you
were
see.
so upset, sir.
Look, One, have your caddy back, and tomorrow I'll fill it with best tea.
Oh, no. You'll need that for collecting money, too. For the wreath.
But no one's going to need a wreath now.
You think so, too?
One, no, put that ebony ruler down. Don't throw that typewriter. Remember what happened last time. You do it. No, stop, please don't.
Muddling through as the men from the Ministry were Richard Murdoch and Deryck Guyler. Also featured were Norma Ronald, John Graham and Joan Sanderson. The programme was written by Edward Taylor and John Graham and produced by Edward Taylor. Time to meet the men from the Ministry. We present Richard Murdoch and Deryck Guyler in The Men from the Ministry, a weekly tribute to the men of our government service. It has been said that you can always tell a civil servant, but you can't tell him much. In the General Assistance Department, those most civil servants, Richard Lamb and Deryck Lennox Brown, not only tackle the problems of today, but also keep one eye firmly on the future.
Isn't it exciting, One? Celia's going to read my palm and tell my future.
Exciting? I doubt it. Not if you're past anything to go by. A man whose biggest thrill was being allowed to use the canteen chip slicer on Christmas Eve. No.
Obviously, One, you're always putting me down.
Are you ready to be done, Mr. Lamb?
Eh? Oh, the fortune-telling. Yeah. Actually, Mr. Lennox Brown's rather put me off, Celia.
Oh, sir, I hope you don't scoff at the mystic powers.
Yes, actually I do, Celia. However, if Gypsy Celia can reveal the hidden secrets of the universe, I'd like to know how my memos got in this condition. Did someone cross your palm with soot?
Oh, sorry, sir. It's these new eyelashes. The hair's so far apart, all the mascara falls through the gaps.
I see.
By the way, sir, the post office had been on about the telephone kiosks in Crumblewood Forest.
Oh, yes, of course, yes. We ordered them to be painted natural forest colours, didn't we? Yeah. Save spoiling the landscape. Are they pleased?
No. Some of the local people can't find the kiosks to make their calls.
Dear me, you'd think the local people would have more sense. Well, they'll all have to be painted red, eh, too?
Paint all the local people red?
The kiosks, too, the kiosks. Oh, dear me.
Well, now, come on, Two. Have you dealt with that letter from the Ministry of Agriculture?
Oh, yes, from that chap in Hampshire, complaining about the noise from his neighbour's battery hens.
Ah, yes. What did you advise in your reply?
Disconnect the batteries.
Oh, glory. I shall retire to my own office and study some very important papers.
I know the important papers he wants to study.
Yeah, the Racing Express, the Sporting World and the Bookie Hater. He gets them free now, you know, government issue.
Does he really?
Says he's preparing evidence for the Royal Commission on Gambling.
Oh, well, it gives him an interest.
Anyway, now he's gone, Mr. Lamb. Don't you feel like having a go?
What?
I'll tell your future, like I said, read your palm.
Oh, I don't know, Celia. I've gone off it now. Tell you what, now we've finished 11s, we can read each other's tea leaves. Here, give me your cup.
All right, and you give me your noddy mug.
Righto.
I'm afraid I can't read your tea leaves, Mr. Lamb. You had coffee, didn't you?
Oh, yes, of course. It's the second Monday in the month. Never mind. We can use Mr. Lennox Brown's coronation mug. He had tea.
All right, then.
Here, I'll have a look at it first.
Can you see anything?
Yes. Oh, yes. Lots of smudges.
Lots of smudges.
And a long, crumpled white thing.
Mr. Lennox Brown.
No, it's not Mr. Lennox Brown.
I was going to say Mr. Lennox Brown was smoking. That's his cigarette end, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, well, there's no need to go and drop it, was there?
But, Celia, I didn't do it deliberately. It's broken. Help me. He'll be furious.
He will. He's had that mug for years. Says it holds 38% more tea than the standard ministry cup.
Oh, what can we do?
Hide the pieces. Somewhere no one ever looks. I know, the in-tray.
No, Celia, we'll have to mend it somehow. Here, help me pick up the bits.
Yeah, all right.
Is there any glue in the office?
No, Mr. Lamb.
Oh, dear, then I'll have to go out and buy some glue. Oh, shan't be long, Celia. And remember, not a word of any of this to Mr. Lennox Brown.
Now, look, old boy, we're not obliged to take any work unless it comes through Sir Gregory Pitkin. We're overstretched as it is. I've got a very heavy day ahead of me. I'm sorry. Blessed nuisance. Now then, where was I? 2:30 committee meeting, 3 o'clock the minister, 3:30 black pyjamas 100 to 8. Roman nose ran well at Leicester. Let's have a peek at the form book. Oh, dear. Lennox Brown speaking.
Pitkin here.
Sir Gregory. Good morning. Nice to hear from you.
I'm sending you out to Belcher's End.
I hope you're... What?
Belcher's End.
Do they?
Belcher's End, man. It's the terminus of the new tube line.
Oh, yes, that extension to the London Underground.
Yes, they've asked me to perform the opening ceremony on Friday.
Good.
My connections with London Transport, you know. I want you and Lamb to go out to Belcher's End this afternoon. Check all preparations are in order.
I see, Sir Gregory, yes.
Our local bigwigs are gathering at the new Belcher's End station at 3:30 for a sort of rehearsal. They were hoping to meet me, but you'll have to do.
Oh, it's very kind of you to put it like that.
I have to go down to Norfolk at midday, staying till Friday morning.
Oh, yes, I heard, Sir Gregory. I hope you have a good holiday.
Holiday? It's not a holiday. It's a fact-finding mission.
Oh, yes. I gather you're taking Miss Bentwater from the typing pool, yes. No doubt to record the facts as you find them.
How did you know that? Has she opened her big... all you've got to worry about is making sure this Belcher's End business is all tied up. I'm coming straight back to the champagne lunch on Friday.
Quite, Sir Gregory, yes. Will the ceremony go on long?
Well, certainly not. Want to get away early for the weekend. I drive myself too hard as it is. Perhaps in Norfolk I shall find a little peace.
I thought you were taking one with you, Sir Gregory.
What?
No. I said I hope you're not taking work with you, Sir Gregory. I mean, you need to relax. Get out with the Norfolk Broads. On the Norfolk Broad. Oh, Gloria.
I'll send the Belcher's End file to your office at once.
Yes, very good, Sir Gregory. Thank you so much. And I hope you have a very pleasant trip.
It is not a trip, man. It's a fact-finding mission.
Of course, Sir Gregory. Yes, and if there are any facts you don't already know, I'm sure Miss Bentwater will help you pick them up. That's to say, of course... that... Oh, it's funny he's gone.
Yes, Yes, Mr. Lennox Brown.
Is Mr. Lamb there, Celia?
No, sir, he's just nipped out to buy some... Oh, I'm not allowed to say.
All right, Celia, all right. I don't mind him eating sherbet fountains. But when he comes back, tell him we've got an important job for this afternoon. And order a car for 3 o'clock, please.
Yes, Mr. Lennox.
Oh, and Celia, Sir Gregory's sending over an important file. Keep an eye open for it.
Very good, sir.
I'm going out now. Stroll in the park before lunch.
Celia, I've got the glue.
Oh, good.
Bought it at that shop that sells ex-officers' undervests and paraffin stoves for camping.
Yeah.
The man in the shop said that it was the most powerful glue on the market.
Oh, what's it called? Stickerama.
That's right.
More than a glue, a way of life. Family size, 4pence off.
The man said it was amazing what it'll stick and where it'll stick it.
I can imagine.
Seems they had a special test witnessed by a commissioner of old.
Oh, yes?
Yes, they glued a bicycle to a post and he had to try and ride off.
And I suppose he couldn't pull the bicycle off of the post.
Not only that, they couldn't pull the commissioner of oaths off the bicycle.
And what did the commissioner of oaths do?
He let out some fearful ones.
This stuff should be just the thing to mend Mr. Lennox Brown's coronation mug.
I hope we can do it. I can't stand it when he's angry.
We need something to stand the mug on. Ah, here, this nice thick file will do.
Oh, that's a special file Sir Gregory's just sent over.
Jolly thoughtful of him, just right for the job. Now, I'll hold the glue like this, Celia, in my right hand. I'll hold my hand up so, and I want you to stick a pin in it.
Right.
Oh, Celia, what are you doing?
Sorry, Mr. Lamb, it slipped. Oh, the pin won't go through the cap, Mr. Lamb.
And the cap won't unscrew. Oh, perhaps if we squeeze the tube, it'll burst through. My toothpaste always does. Now, you take that end, and I'll take this one. 1, 2, and squeeze. Oh, well, it's out anyway.
Oh, Mr. Lamb, it's everywhere. Look, all over the desk and the floor.
It's made pretty patterns on the window.
And that blue bottle on the ceiling hasn't half copped it. Honestly, Mr. Lamb, I never saw such a mess.
Oh, don't fuss, Celia. We must get on and fix Mr. LB's mug. Oh.
Mr. Lamb, you've got to stop mucking about with this glue. It's lethal.
Well, Mr. LB's mug's stuck together all right.
Yeah, but you've got the office date stamp stuck to the top, haven't you? Every time he drinks from that, he'll stamp April the 1st on his forehead.
Well, I must admit this is very tricky stuff.
It's downright dangerous.
If I got some of that on my lips, I could never open my mouth again.
Yes. It says it does 1,001 useful things.
Mr. Lamb, I tell you, it's dangerous.
I don't see how it can be dangerous. Oh, yes, I do. It stuck the seat of my trousers to this chair.
And it stuck Sir Gregory's file together like a fossilised fern.
Well, I expect he's got another one.
Look, I'll fold the end of the tube over so no more glue can get out.
And we'd better leave a note so people won't touch it. Those cleaners are always prying about. Type it so it looks official.
What shall I put?
Let's see. We've just discovered this new tube is dangerous. It must be kept closed at all costs till proper precautions can be taken. Good. Now let me read it. Oh, and I'd better stamp it official, too.
Oh, Mr. Lamb, don't put it on Sir Gregory's file. It'll stick.
Oh, too late, Celia. It's stuck. Never mind, it's not a bad place for the warning. People can see the damage it caused.
Yeah, well, a fine old mess we got here. Anyway, I'm off to lunch.
Right, Celia. Just put that tube in the desk drawer with you, out of harm's way.
Besides, we don't want Mr. LB to know anything about the glue, do we? He's still got no mug.
Good heavens, is that the time? I'm lunching with Mr. Smelly Brown.
Mr. Smelly Brown of Staff Administration?
Yes, I'm planning to ventilate my grievances. I must be off. Oh, Celia! My trousers, the glue.
Yeah, you'll ventilate quite a lot more.
Come in, Proudfoot. I'll show you that article I mentioned at lunch.
Oh, thank you.
You haven't seen our office, have you?
No. That's your desk over there.
No, that's Lamb's.
Oh, yes.
Hello, his chair's got a new cover on the seat. It's very smart, isn't it? Same material as his suit.
Nobody about.
No, they're still all at lunch. Shocking hours my staff keep, you know.
Oh?
Oh, yes. I called them in at 10 last Friday to give them a good dressing down about punctuality and so on.
How did they take it,
I don't know. I didn't get here in time.
What's the current job?
Oh, Lamb and I are going over to Belcher's End this afternoon to check on this underground extension.
Oh, yes, the new tube line.
Yes, that's it. Well, Sir Gregory was supposed to have sent us a file on it somewhere.
Well, that looks like one of Sir Gregory's files over there.
Wait a minute, there's a title on the spine.
Yeah.
Belcher's End Underground Project, Confidential. Oh, I can't open the blessed thing. All the pages are stuck together.
Yeah.
Well, that's very odd. Can't be that confidential.
Just a moment. There's a memo stuck on the front there.
Oh, yes. We've just discovered this new tube is dangerous. It must be kept closed at all costs till proper precautions can be taken. Good gracious me.
Yes, well, they must have discovered some hidden snag at the last moment. Sir Gregory wants you to tell the locals it stays closed.
Yes, but only this morning he told me to lay on the opening.
Oh, ours is not to reason why, old boy. These are your orders. Look, there's the official stamp on it.
But I ought to check, didn't I?
Well, you can't check with Sir Gregory. He's gone.
Yes, he's gone, yes. Well, how about the National Inspector Transport?
Oh, yes, NIT.
Yes. He's in charge of all these matters, isn't he? Yes, well, I'll go and ask him. Oh, excuse me, are you the man they call NIT?
Yes. Actually, National Inspector Transport with Inland Traffic. NITWIT.
Oh. Yes, I see. Well, I'm Lennox Brown, General Assistance Department. Yes, I want to check this order's in order.
In this place, all orders are in order.
But closing this tube line, I mean, it seems so sudden.
Look, I'm frightfully busy here, you know. You see all these TV screens? I'm watching London's traffic.
Oh, really?
Oh, jolly good. There's a super jam at Piccadilly Circus. Is it moving at all? Oh, my word, some of them are going backwards.
Yes, but look, this tube line was to open on Friday, you see. Now Sir Gregory says it stays closed.
I say, Kingston bypass, jam solid. Oh, look at that young couple in the sports car. They're on the verge.
I am trying to ask you about this tube line, but when I open my mouth, you change the subject.
Well, don't open it. Keep it shut, man.
Oh. Oh, then you want the tube shut, too.
I don't know where Mr. LB is. That car's here I ordered for him.
Car?
He said you and him were going out at 3 o'clock. An important job. Pity you lost your trousers.
I searched the building for another pair. It's lucky the hall porter had these.
He uses them to cycle to work in the rain. At least I'm decent.
I suppose so. But you look a right nana in your bowler hat, black jacket and yellow waterproof over trousers.
Listen, they're very drafty.
Oh, your legs look like a hen's. All yellow and crinkly.
Now, we're going to be late, too. Good grief. This is a vital mission. What are you doing in plastic pants?
I'm afraid I lost my trousers this morning, man, or rather, I didn't actually lose them, you understand. I had to discard them.
Oh, really? Why?
Well, how shall I put it? I had an accident.
You had an accident?
Yes.
I see. And now you've gone over to yellow waterproofs. Not taking any more chances, I suppose.
What is it we've got to do?
We're to meet the mayor and local bigwigs at Belcher's End Station.
Oh, the new underground line. It opens on Friday, doesn't it?
Yes, well, it was supposed to, but now Sir Gregory says keep it closed.
Isn't that typical of some government departments? Probably all a silly mistake. Thank heavens we don't get things gummed up like that.
Well, if there's a nettle to be grasped, we'd better get the bit between our teeth and put our foot down.
With a firm hand.
Yes. Well, they won't be too happy at Belcher's End when they hear our news. I gather they're very keen out there.
Well, Lady Lavity, I think I've shown you everything.
It's been quite an experience, Mr. Mayor. I'm very impressed.
Oh, by the way, have you met the station architect?
You may bring him to me.
He's there, actually, under your left elbow.
Good gracious. How do you do, Mr.
Bucket. Humphrey Bucket.
Well, go on then, Bucket. Stop fiddling with your foot roll. Shake her hand, she won't bite.
You must be a very proud man.
No, he's not. He only stands that way.
How do you do, Lady Laverty?
I take it all your plans are in hand for Friday.
Oh, yes, everything's all set for the first train to leave the pleasant fields of Belcher's End and go roaring down the new extension to the hurly-burly of the Bakerloo and Metro.
Steady, Bucket, don't overdo it.
Hollerton Line.
Now, I thought some flowers or bunting round the ticket office would please Sir Gregory.
Ah, good idea. Hey, where is the ticket office?
Ticket office? Oh, ticket office. Oh, dear. Oh, well, we all make mistakes. I dare say we can rig something up by Friday.
Arrange some flowers round it anyway.
Well, there are pansies round the drinks machine already. I'm especially proud of that coin in the slot drinks machine. You can have a choice of tea, coffee, or iced drinks.
I just tried it. I got iced, raspberry-flavoured, fizzy tea. This looks like the men from the ministry now.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon. I'm afraid Sir Gregory Pitkin can't be here today, after all.
Ah, weird. You'll be Lennox Brown, I take it.
That's right, yes.
And this must be Mr. Lamb in the yellow plastic breeches.
I'm awfully sorry about that. You see, my trousers. I had an accident.
Yes, that'll do, Joe.
You'll be pleased to hear, gentlemen, that everything's ready for the opening ceremony.
Nothing can go wrong now, nothing.
Yes. Well, now, yes, there's one rather important factor I ought to mention about this opening.
Oh, what's that?
What's that? Yes. Well, now, how shall I put it? There isn't going to be one.
What?
No, I'm afraid not, ladies and gentlemen. No, the new underground line must stay closed. Now, there's been a top-level decision for reasons we cannot disclose.
Why not?
Because we don't know them.
Quiet. Now, please, don't be upset, ladies and gentlemen, please. You'll get your new service one day.
One day? 30 years we commuters have waited for a direct line to town. Wait any longer, it'll be too late.
Too late?
I retire next week.
I think we'd better go, one. The mayor looks ugly.
We'll not close. We shan't take this line down from any government officials.
I'll never lie down under a government official.
No, we'll not give in. We'll defy you.
In that case, I shall have no option but to implement this decision by a policy of sanctions through the powers of the Transport Authority.
Quite right, one. What does that mean?
It means that all work will be stopped.
You'll have a fight on your hands, I'm telling you.
And all London transport staff will be withdrawn, so there will be no one to man the trains. All right, come along, Tool. Good day to you all.
This means war.
I call on you to remember the spirit of Dunkirk.
Oh.
We open our tube line tomorrow.
And here is the news read by John Curl. There were amazing scenes on the London Underground today when an unexpected train entered the Bakerloo line driven by a lady in a floral dress, wide-brimmed hat and tan accessories. She seemed to have some difficulty controlling the train, which mounted the platform at Piccadilly and travelled above ground down Regent Street before re-entering the underground system at Trafalgar Square. It was later learnt that this train was part of a pirate service running from the new Belcher's End extension. The authorities are apparently uncertain how to stop these illegal activities without bloodshed. Over now to our bearded Scot on the spot, Forth Robinson.
Well, as you've probably gathered, the Belcher's End residents now running their own tube line have made some startling innovations. On the station platform, for instance, there's a three-piece orchestra. And they tell me by next week they hope to have learnt a fourth piece. On the Belcher's End escalator, the passengers remain stationary and the corset advertisements move slowly past them. And here, taking tickets at the barrier, is Lady Laverty. Now, Lady Laverty, do you think you can get away with this? I mean, won't the men from the ministry stop you?
Certainly not. Our trains won't be stopped by a pair of old buffers.
Oh, thank you, Lady Laverty. And as we leave Belcher's End, yet another train's pulling out, this time driven by the local vicar.
Switch it off, too.
Oh, this is terrible one. What will Sir Gregory say? The mind boggles.
Too, I've told you again and again that too much boggling is bad for you. Now, your doctor's told you to give it up, hasn't he? Yes. Well, you need all your strength for this problem.
But
quiet, quiet. Now, look. Now, we can't hope... Oh, do stop it. Now, look, we can't hope to keep this from Sir Gregory, can we? So, I've decided the best thing is to point out we couldn't help the locals turning nasty and ask for his advice.
But he's lost in Norfolk, Well,
not quite lost, too. He left a contact in case of emergency. Apparently thought his office geranium might turn sickly.
How do we get in touch with him?
Well, I've sent a wire, care of the Top Hat Country Club at Netherticking. Asked him to ring us at 3.
But at 2:15, we've got to see the Atomic Energy Authority about their new oil stove.
That came later. Still, we'll be back in time, don't we?
I'd better warn Celia just in case.
Yes, Mr. Lamb?
Celia, in case we're late back, will you watch out for a call from Sir Gregory about 3 o'clock?
Righty-ho.
It's very important. We need his advice about this tube problem.
Oh, all right then. Hello, General Assistance Department, Celia Nobbs speaking.
Pitkin, Lennox Brown there?
No, I'm sorry, Sir Gregory. They're not back from the atomic thing me yet.
Damned impudence. They asked me to ring.
Yes, sir. Sorry, sir. This thing came up after. They told me to watch out for you, sir.
I had to turn down a 4th brandy to make this call.
Very sorry, sir. How's your fact-finding mission, sir?
Oh, now the blasted cigar's gone out. What? Oh, the mission. Oh, very fruitful. Very fruitful indeed. Yes. Miss Bentwater and I have been covering a lot of ground. What's happening in London? Haven't heard any news since we came here.
Well, there's a few problems.
Yeah, there usually are. I gather they want my advice on something special.
Yes, Sir Gregory. We've had terrible trouble with this new tube.
What? The new tube? Good heavens, what's happened?
Well, the whole thing's got out of hand. A terrible mess.
Good grief, I can't turn my back for 5 minutes.
Mr. Lamb's had his trousers torn off.
What?
There's sticky stuff everywhere. Mr. LB's mug's got the date stamp stuck on it.
Sticky stuff? Date stamp? What are you talking about?
This tube of glue, Sir Gregory. It's causing havoc in the office.
Tube of glue? Well, good Lord, you don't mean they asked me to ring about a tube of glue?
Apparently, Sir Gregory.
Oh, Lord. Well, I suppose I shouldn't be surprised at anything that happens in that office. You won't believe this, Daphne. They want my advice on a tube of glue. No, dear, don't get up. I'll be with you in a moment. Now, look, Miss Nobbs. Tell them I've more important things to deal with than glue.
Sorry, sir. It's just this sticker-armor's such horrid stuff. It's set so hard you can't budge it.
Sticker-armor, eh? No wonder you're in trouble. Yes, we had problems with that at home. Tried repairing the cocktail barn. Got Lady Pitkin's elbow stuck to the brandy flask. Couldn't tell her flask from her elbow. As it's sticker-armor, I will give you a tip. Water's the thing. If things are stuck, soak 'em. If the tube's sticky, pour water down it.
Apparently they're sticking posters on the tunnel walls, too. Free London's underground.
Let's hope Sir Gregory's got a suggestion.
Oh, here they are, Sir Gregory. Sir Gregory's on the line now, Mr. Lennox Brown. He says the answer to this tube problem is to pour water down it.
I thought he'd come up with... Pour water down it?
Yes, sir.
Oh, let me speak to him. Hello, Sir Gregory.
Can't waste more time, Lennox Brown. I've told your girl the answer. Pour water down the tube and your troubles are over. Warm, soapy water if you've got it. If not, cold will do. The more the better. Soon sort things out. The tube can be used again when it's dried.
I suppose one should turn all current off first, Sir Gregory, and warn everyone.
What? Warn everyone? Oh, well, all right, if you want to be finicky. I can't see the need myself.
He's ruthless, too. You can see how he got on. Yeah. Well, very good, Sir Gregory. We'll do as you say.
Yeah, I should hope so. A lot of fuss over trivia. Don't disturb me again.
2, we're going to pour water down the tube at Belcher's End.
What?
I'll ring the reservoir. You find a demolition firm.
No, no.
Celia, you go and fetch Mr. Lamb some smelling salts.
And here is the news read by John Curl. London's Underground Railway was today flooded with water following a surprise ministry ruling. As a result, there has had to be some restriction of services. Journeys on the inner circle have been limited to 1 submarine an hour. However, on the Northern Line, where the water level is not so high, a full commuter service has been maintained by a fleet of paddle boats from Regent's Park. Swimmers on the Central Line are reminded that it is an offence to plunge in without paying full fare and with intent to avoid payment. Answering a question in the House, the Prime Minister agreed the flooding had affected London's main sewer and said he proposed to look into it.
Sorry I'm late too. Spot of fog on the line. All the trains were held up.
Oh, well, at least you didn't have to swim here.
Do you remember that business last spring too? Belcher's End, wasn't it?
Shall I ever forget it? The Civil Service Debating Society voted it the clanger of the year.
Also, we got away with that one rather lightly. Of course, after being away with Miss Bentwater, Sir Gregory had to help us cover up.
Still, I think you deserve the major credit for your statement about a dynamic new plan to clean up London's underground.
Oh, thank heavens we've had no disasters like that this year. Well, come on, now let's have a cup of tea.
Right, you are one. We'll have to use the cardboard cups.
Oh, why?
All our crockery was so dirty, I told Celia to give it a thorough wash. Left her a note.
Good. Well, I can get on with these Far East policy orders now. Just a minute, let me see that note.
Here you are, one.
What's this? Please put all China under water till Monday at least. Two, are you mad?
What have I done?
China? Destroy that note at once, man.
What?
Tear it up, burn it, eat it, destroy it. Do you hear? You've done it again, you stupid idiot.
Muddling through as the men from the Ministry were Richard Murdoch and Deryck Guyler. Also featured were Ronald Baddeley, John Graham and Carol Allen. The programme was written by Edward Taylor and John Graham and produced by Edward Taylor. Time to meet the men from the Ministry. We present Richard Murdoch and Deryck Guyler in The Men from the Ministry, a weekly tribute to the men of our government service. Men whose bread and butter depends on their sober and dignified manner. Men, indeed, who hold themselves half aloof from the hurly-burly of life, for they realise that half aloof is better than no bread. As our story opens, we go as usual to the General Assistance Department, where today we find that eager young executive, Richard Lamb, hunched over a drawing board.
Cool, Mr. Lamb. You're in early this morning? Or haven't you gone home from last night?
Hello, Mildred. I came in early because there's something I want to work out in my head. I've got a little problem.
Oh, don't worry about that, Mr. Lamb. Lots of men have a bald patch.
That's not the problem, Mildred.
Here, you've been sketching. Some kind of plan or design. What is it?
It's Mrs. Bratby's back gate.
Oh, Mrs. Bratby's your landlady, isn't she?
That's right.
3 foot wide, gravy stains on her apron and ears like jug handles.
Mildred, that's not fair. She doesn't wear an apron.
What's wrong with her back gate?
Well, she's got this dog, you see. She's, well, how shall I put it? A lady dog.
A bitch?
Mildred, please. She's called Princess, poor little thing.
Well, what's the matter with her?
It's the way the other dogs pester her. Especially one great grey brute over the way, a real cur. He sits outside and barks and howls all day.
Why?
Why, yes. Well, you see, he wants to, he wants to pester her.
Oh, yeah. You mean he wants to get friendly?
Yes. Horrid, isn't it? And he's ferocious. Twice he's been over our back gate and Mrs. Bratby's had to drive him off with the broom.
That was brave of her.
Not only her, Mildred. I masterminded the whole operation from my bedroom window.
Who said chivalry was dead?
Anyway, he won't get over again. I've designed this huge new gate so Princess will be safe.
It's a lovely drawing, Mr. Lamb.
Yes, and I've painted it too. Just like an architect's plan.
And you're going to have big blue roses up the side.
No, those are thumb marks. I spilt some paint.
Well, it certainly looks safe enough. It's higher than the house. And all those bars and spikes.
And nothing will move it. We can't be too careful, Mildred.
Just one thing.
Yeah?
How do you and Mrs. Bradbury get in and out?
How do we get in and... Oh, yes. Well, back to the old drawing board. Oh, this coffee's not very strong and it's stone cold.
Oh, that's not coffee, Mr. Lamb. It's the water you've been washing your brushes in.
Oh, I must do something, Mildred. Mrs. Bradbury's going away tomorrow. I'll have to bring Princess to the office and keep an eye on her. I can't have that wretched cur from up the road making her miserable.
Yeah, that's your phone, Mr. Lamb.
Oh, I can't think straight today for worrying about poor Princess. Hello?
Ministry of Defence here. I want the General Assistance Department.
This is it. Well, I'm a bit of it.
Oh, good. Have you made a decision?
Made a decision? Oh, yes, I made one only last week.
Good, excellent.
But I changed my mind. Those pink socks don't go with a pinstripe.
I think I'd better talk to the young lady. It was a Miss Murphin I spoke to last time.
Oh, Mildred, it's for you. A chap from the Ministry of Defence. Is it personal? Shall I leave the room?
Oh, no, it'll be the Admiral. He's been bothering me for days.
Oh.
Good morning, sir. This is Mildred Murphin, to whom you are addressing.
Vice Admiral Kerr here. I've had no decision yet about this boat.
Oh, about the lovely lady?
Yes.
Well, it's not up to me to make a decision, sir. That's for the top people here. I'm trying to get you an answer as quick as possible.
Well, this is very urgent, you know. I'll ring back.
Righty-ho, sir. Oh, I'm fed up with that man. He keeps ringing me up about his lovely lady.
I suppose he just wants to share his happiness.
What? No, Mr. Lamb, lovely lady's a boat. What you call it? A ketch.
Oh, I see.
The one that went right round the world, sailed by a woman on her own. The first woman to do it.
Oh, yes. Gladys Colchester.
Yeah.
I remember. She lost all her charts and went round twice by mistake.
Yeah, well, the Admiral wants to put her on display. Give the public a chance to look her over.
Can't think why. She looks so awful. Red face, huge hips, and bottoms up tattooed on her arm. Still, I suppose that's better than having arms up tattooed on her...
Mr. Lamb! It's the boat that's going on display, not the woman.
Oh, I see.
We got to find a site for lovely lady to go on show. I was to consult lots of people and get Mr. LB to make a decision.
Why wasn't I told about this?
It came up last week when you and Mr. LB were off.
So Mr. Lennox Brown doesn't know about this boat business either?
No, I'm not heard back from the Ministry of Works yet, so there was no point in telling him.
To tell you the truth, I scarcely know what's going on in this place. I've been so worried about Princess.
Oh, blimey, not the dog again.
She's so defenceless, Mildred. She can never relax.
Yeah, well, it's time I relaxed. I'm off to buy some nail polish. I'm sick and tired of the rotten old Admiral. Day in, day out.
Morning, Mildred.
Oh, morning, Mr. Lennox Brown.
My word, you look rather cross.
Yeah, well, things get on top of you, don't they?
Poor Mildred. Oh, and you don't look very happy too. What's it all about?
It's the injustice of it that riles me. Why should she be pestered the whole time?
Oh, just a minute. Who was pestering her?
That big brute over the way.
Really? By George, no wonder Mildred's upset.
We've been discussing it, Mum.
Yes, well, surely she can look after herself.
But how can she? She's such a helpless little thing.
Oh, well, not that little, surely.
Sometimes she leaps into my arms and lies there quivering. I can feel her little heart going thump, thump, thump.
George, this is serious, too.
And when she does that, I know he's been after her, hanging round, staring at her with his great bloodshot eyes.
Well, what does he want?
Isn't it obvious? I mean, you know, the birds and the bees.
Good gracious, you mean he's tried to molest her?
I don't think he's succeeded yet. He just stands there slobbering with his tongue hanging out.
Disgraceful. Have you spoken to him?
I tried to decoy him with a biscuit.
A biscuit? Well, what did he do?
He sniffed it, scratched himself, and then did something rather nasty.
He should be reported, locked up.
I told the police, but it seems as long as he's got his collar on, there's nothing they can do.
Isn't that just typical of today? Yes, well, I'll have to talk to him.
Talking's no good. I spent over an hour shouting at him this morning and waving my umbrella.
Oh, what happened?
He bared his teeth. I thought he was going to bite her.
He's an animal.
That's no excuse.
And, did he bite her?
I pulled her back in time.
Oh, well, you better ask poor Mildred to bring us some coffee.
Poor Mildred? She's out. I'll fetch it. It'll take my mind off that brute. White for you, one?
Yes, veering towards black. I need something strong after what you've told me. Who did you say this dirty dog is?
That filthy cur over the way. Shan't be long, one.
Oh, poor Mildred. Yes, I won't have it. I must stop outsiders pestering my staff. That's my job. General Assistant Department, Lennox Brown.
May I speak to Miss Murphin, please?
Who is that?
Ministry of Defence. My name's Kerr.
What? Kerr, did you say?
Yes.
Oh, I've heard about you from my assistant. Filthy Kerr, he calls you.
I don't understand. I'm Vice Admiral Kerr.
Vice Admiral, eh? Yes, and very apt, if I may say so, sir. Oh, my word, yes.
I was in contact with Miss Murphin earlier.
In contact, eh? It went as far as that?
I beg your pardon?
And so you should, sir, so you should.
I'm ringing about the lovely lady.
I gathered that.
She's been on my mind for some time, several weeks, in fact. But nothing's been done yet.
You give me your word on that? Nothing's been done?
Is Miss Murphin there? I want Miss Murphin.
I'm sure you do. But she's not in.
I want her urgently.
She is not here.
What should I do?
Just leave her alone, sir.
I'm sorry.
Your apologies don't ring true. You're dealing with a man. Now, you know.
I must get the lovely lady sorted out in the next 24 hours. She's important, you know. She shouldn't be messed around.
Well, I'm glad to hear you say so.
She's been through the mill, seen a lot of service.
Oh, she's done good work, yes.
Well, in her time, she's given pleasure to a lot of sailors.
How dare you, sir?
Now, you see, I want to set her up somewhere.
Money won't buy her, sir.
Well, I don't need to buy her. She's already public property.
You blackguard.
I've tried her in some places already. Last week I had her down by the docks. The week before I had her at Greenwich. Neither of them really satisfactory, didn't draw the crowds. There isn't the interest there, you see. They've seen it all before. Of course, there's lots of places I could set her up. Abroad, perhaps. The Americans always like that kind of thing. What do you think?
What do I think? What do I think? I think you will not take her abroad, sir. Nor will you take her anywhere. Her place is in Whitehall, do you hear me? She's to stay here in Whitehall.
In Whitehall? Are you sure? Is that your final word on the lovely lady's future?
It is, sir. She'll stay here in Whitehall, and I shall personally watch over her welfare.
Seems odd. Still, I was told to accept your decision. Whitehall it is, then. Goodbye.
Well, let's put him in his place. And if ever I lay hands on him, I shall give him a thrashing.
Lovely little doggy then.
Don't get her overexcited, Mildred.
Oh, is you nervous then? Does you want to tummy tickled?
Yes, I am, but not just now, thanks. Princess must have her morning feed before LB gets here.
Oh, yeah, he doesn't like dogs, does he?
No, Sir Gregory's Alsatian bit him once. Had to have medical attention.
Mr. Lennox Brown?
No, the Alsatian. Oh, it was quite a nasty wound. LB stood there with blood running down his leg. Honestly, if Sir Gregory weren't our boss, I'd think LB would have stopped smiling at him.
I hope Princess likes this bowl I brought her. It's a pity it's marked Bonzo. It was the only dog bowl in the shop.
I suppose we could change her name. I don't think she'd approve, though.
Now look out of the window. Watch out for Mr. LB.
Thank you, Mildred.
Oh, they're putting up scaffolding. scaffolding in the middle of Whitehall.
Scaffolding? I wonder which of the government they're going to hang.
Oh, how awful. They wouldn't, would they? Here, do you think they'll let us watch? Here, you're teasing.
Yes, I'm afraid so, Mildred. It must be for that boat that sailed round the world. It's in this morning's paper.
Oh, let's see. Lovely lady to be permanently on show in Whitehall. Oh, that's the boat the Admiral was on about.
He must have got his decision somewhere else. Seems a pretty odd one.
Daft, I call it. The scaffolding blocks the road. There's a queue of traffic right down Whitehall. Here, the state procession to Parliament tomorrow. All the big wigs will have to cycle along the pavement.
Some fool's blundered, I suppose. Thank heavens that sort of thing doesn't happen in our department.
Here, that the dog food, Mr. Lamb?
Yes, new improved dogginosh, it's called. Flavoured to taste like a postman's ankle.
Yeah, it looks horrible.
According to the tin, it's fish scraps and horse meat and offal with added shark liver oil.
Yeah, Mr. Lamb, look at this note Mr. LB left on me desk.
Does he want you to go to the betting shop?
No, it says, shall be in early tomorrow, that's today, to prevent Vice Admiral Kerr molesting you. I've told him your place is in Whitehall. You won't be pestered again by that filthy Kerr.
It's all right, Princess. We're talking about another Kerr. You're quite safe.
Fancy calling the Admiral that filthy Kerr. Seems a bit strong.
I suppose, that is, there couldn't be any connection, could there? I told LB about Princess being pestered by that filthy Kerr, and he got very cross. Kept talking about poor Mildred.
Oh, and you think that he thinks that you meant me?
What? Say that slowly, Mildred.
Well, he told Kerr her place is in Whitehall, and that stupid old Admiral's put the boat in Whitehall and stopped all the traffic.
Oh, dear, that means that... What does that mean, Mildred?
It means when Mr. LB sees the boat in Whitehall and finds you with a dog in the office, he'll put two and two together. He'll realise you dropped this horrible clanger because of you.
Oh, you're right, Mildred. He'll hit me with the in-tray, just when I was losing the scar from last time. What can we do? He'll get me transferred to archives at Ballymucky.
Now, steady, Mr. Lamb. You'll have to keep him from seeing the dog. Then he'll never know what happened.
Yes, he mustn't see the dog. Where can she go? Fireplace, wastepaper basket?
Now, don't panic. It's lucky you got big, strong drawers.
Yes. What?
Your filing cabinet. We'll put her in the drawer of your filing cabinet.
Yes, that's it. Come along, Princess. Come with Uncle Richard.
Why that drawer up there, Mr. Lamb?
Well, it's marked D. D for dog, you see.
No. Put her in the lowest one.
The one marked Z? Oh, very cunning, Mildred. That'll put LB off the scent.
Mr. LB said he'd be early. I better get out of the way before he starts asking me awkward questions.
Now, you keep quiet in there, Princess, and be a good dog. Mind you don't bark or be a bad dog.
Morning, Joe.
Morning, man.
Odd business out in the street. They're putting up scaffolding and platforms and things.
Oh, are they? Yes. Probably building a water pipe or a burst flyover. Or...
Yes, well, it's nothing to do with us, thank goodness. What's that on your desk?
What's what?
Well, that bowl filled with, dear me, it looks like fish scraps and muck. Ugh. Dear.
Yes, it does look like fish scraps, and I mean, it is fish scraps. And, oh dear.
Well, what is it?
It's my breakfast.
Oh, breakfast?
Yes, Mrs. Bratby's away, you see, so I brought a packed breakfast.
Well, why is the bowl marked Bonzo?
Oh, that isn't Bonzo. It's BONZO. That's Boys' Own National Zoological Organization.
Oh, dear, it smells awful. And are you really going to eat it?
Yes, well, that is, I was, but as you're here...
No, too. You carry on. No, this I've got to see.
Perhaps, I mustn't be greedy.
Now, eat up, too. If that's your breakfast, you need it. Go on, now, eat it.
What?
Eat it, too.
Oh, yeah. Very tasty. Much nicer than cornflakes.
Yeah, well, I shouldn't fancy it. It smells of cod liver oil.
Shark liver oil, actually.
I say you've got a funny colour, too. Well, eat up. You're probably hungry. That's the trouble.
I've almost finished.
What did you say?
Nothing, man. I coughed.
Oh.
Yes.
What?
I coughed again, I saw my doctor yesterday. He said I had an awful bark.
Yes, doesn't sound too good, I must say. Almost like a dog barking. Yes, I'm jolly glad it isn't. Don't much care for dogs.
No, I remember.
Yes, old Rudge at the Board of Trade had a dog. Greyhound it was. Used to race it, you know. But the dog always beat him. Nasty, insensitive animals.
Yes, yes. Oh, yes, the doctor said I had a wheeze, too, in my chest, you know.
Dear me, too. You'd better take one of those pills.
Pills?
Yeah, well, they're on your desk.
These pills?
Yeah.
No, they're not for me. They're for later.
Good gracious me, you better have one now, too. I can't have my staff away ill.
I can't have one now. They're for before meals.
Oh, don't worry about silly details like that. Turn over here. Wait a minute. Let me see what it says on the bottle now. Place on the back of the tongue. Yes. Hold jaw closed. Then massage throat till pill is swallowed.
Don't read any more. I'll take it, yes. I'll swallow it. No need for a fuss. There, it's down.
Yes, you should watch the weather, too. Get yourself a new coat.
After that, I should be getting a lovely glossy coat quite soon.
General Assistance Department, Lennox Brown.
Ministry of Defence, Vice Admiral Kerr here.
Again? I thought I told you to leave Miss Murphy alone.
I shan't trouble Miss Murphy. I realise I've been a bit of a bother to her.
Indeed you have, sir.
So I'll get what I want from you.
What?
I want to confirm that point we discussed. Make absolutely sure.
Well, what point was that?
The lovely lady. Now, you did say her place was in Whitehall.
I did. She must stay here.
Yes, it might be tricky. Various aspects, you know, various reasons. Tricky.
In what way, may I ask?
Well, we may get hooligans carving their initials on her stern.
Good Lord, you've started again.
There's a small boy stuffing toffee papers up her clinkers.
Have you no shame at all?
Yes, and I've also had complaints of her poop deck stopping the traffic.
Your mind is a cesspool, sir.
I really don't understand you, Mr. Lennox Brown. However, there is another matter for your department to deal with. It's the aircraft carrier HMS Princess.
What? Aircraft carrier?
Yes, HMS Princess.
Huh?
We've to find a new berth for her. An anchorage for a few weeks before the NATO exercise.
Oh.
But as you seem preoccupied, I'll leave it till later. Or perhaps ask your assistant. Goodbye.
Am I going mad? Or is he?
I've worked it all out, Mildred.
Oh, you startled me, Mr. Lamb. I was writing my article for the staff magazine. I wish I could think of a title.
Never mind the staff magazine, Mildred. I've solved our problem.
Well, good. I thought you'd be there all day with that ice bag on your head.
I couldn't find an ice bag. I had to make do with this block of strawberry ice cream.
Oh, is that what it is? I wondered why your hair had gone all pink.
Still, I've got the answer. We'll ring Admiral Kerr and say the boat mustn't go in Whitehall. Tell him LB made a mistake.
Yeah?
We'll say LB's been working too hard.
He'll never believe that.
It's all right. We'll say LB's gone funny. Doesn't know what he's doing.
Now that he will believe. Yeah, we can work on that.
LB need never know anything happened.
Well, you might still see the dog. I suppose you had to bring Princess with you again.
Yes, but I'm going to take her down to St. James's Park. I'll let that nice park keeper look after her during the day. You know, the one who saved me when I was attacked by that duck.
St. James's Park, eh? That's a good idea.
Sorry?
Ah, Miss Murphy. My name's Kerr, Ministry of Defence. We've talked on the phone, haven't we?
Oh, yes, sir.
Yes, and you must be Lennox Brown.
No, Admiral, I'm Richard Lamb. I was going to ring you. Mr. Lennox Brown's been, how shall I put it?
Put away.
Yes, he's been put away. He's been overworking, you know, great strain.
Yeah. He went funny in the head. He started poaching eggs in his bowler hat.
Mildred.
Then he said he was a poached egg. And he attacked anyone who argued.
That'll do, Mildred.
Good heavens, I am sorry. Mind you, this explains a lot.
I mean, that boat you're putting on display, we didn't want it in Whitehall. It should have gone on the Thames.
Ah, yes, I felt something was odd. My naval training, you know. Poor chap. Yes, we once had a fellow at jib. Same trouble. Commander-in-chief he was. Used to hide down the ship's gun barrel. And then just before the exercise, he'd pop his head out and say, bang.
I suppose he was fired in the end.
No, they kept him on. Said they didn't often have men of that caliber. Anyway, purpose of my visit, Miss Murphy, I brought you these chocolates. I felt I'd been a bit of a burden to you, you know.
Oh, thank you very much, sir.
Not at all. So, you'll be in charge of the department now, eh?
Oh, will I? Yes, I suppose I will.
Yes, I don't suppose you've decided where to put Princess yet.
Princess? Yes, I've got just the place for her. St. James's Park.
St. James's Park?
Yes.
Put Princess in St. James's Park?
Just for a week or two.
For the exercise?
Yes, for the exercise. And, of course, for security reasons.
Oh, yes, of course. I understand, yes. Security. Well done.
She mustn't be seen by you-know-who.
Oh, of course. Yes, dashed clever, you ministry chaps. I congratulate you. Damn shrewd move, Lamb. Princess to St. James's Park, eh? Shall be done.
And here is the news read by John Curl. Drama in St. James's Park, London. When the park was unlocked at dawn this morning, park keepers were surprised to find an aircraft carrier moored in the lake. In the House of Commons, there were complaints about the noise of aircraft taking off and landing on the carrier. The Prime Minister said the lake was not really his concern, but he would go into it. The disturbance has caused the park's rare crested heron to leave its nest with one egg in it. The House set up a committee to consider how this egg might be hatched, and the Prime Minister agreed to sit on it. A spokesman said if the present scheme was a success, the rest of Britain's fleet may soon begin exercises on the Serpentine.
But I assure you, Admiral, I didn't know anything about this aircraft carrier.
But the PM's been on to me. You've made us the laughingstock.
What again?
Well, what's to be done? Who carries the can? Now, you distinctly said St. James's Park, Lamb. You can't blame Lennox Brown this time. You told me he'd been put away.
Morning. Sorry I'm late. Big crowds in the park. I asked a keeper. He said some idiots put an aircraft carrier on the lake. As if I believe him.
I know that voice. You're Lennox Brown.
Hello, one. So you escaped?
Escaped? What do you mean, escaped? Who's this?
I'm Admiral Kerr.
Kerr? You? Ah, I hear you brought Miss Murphy chocolates. Ah, now you're pestering her again, eh? My word, I must say, you're pretty hard-boiled.
Oh, hard-boiled, yes. And you're beautifully poached.
I'll teach you a lesson, you lecher. I've dealt with some bad eggs in my time.
No, my dear, so don't get excited. Here's a nice bit of toast. Why not sit down on it, eh?
Remove your jacket, sir. Put up your fists on it. What's all this about toast and poached eggs?
Let's not get violent, one. She'll give the chocolates back, won't you, Mildred?
Yeah, they're in here.
Not that one, Mildred. Princess is in there. She wouldn't stay in the park.
What's this? A dog in the office?
I can explain, one. She's my aircraft carrier.
What?
I mean, she's the boat Mrs. Bratby sailed round the world in. I mean, the Admiral's princess.
Go get down, you brute. Am I going out of my mind? You're behind all this, aren't you?
Let go of my throat, sir, or you'll go back in the saucepan.
Don't you talk about saucepan.
Here, Mr. Lamb. I thought of a title for my article.
Yes, Mildred.
Yeah, a typical day at the ministry.
Absolutely. Great to say anything about
Muddling through as the men from the ministry were Richard Murdoch and Deryck Guyler. Also featured were Norma Ronald and John Graham. The programme was written by Edward Taylor and John Graham and produced by Edward Taylor.